Another name that's been linked is Kevin De Bruyne. Now, Ian Doyle has come out and shot this down in typical Ian Doyle fashion, but it is worth remembering that in April, Ian Doyle said Liverpool have not yet given up hope of Trent staying, a month after Trent had already told the club he was leaving. So you wouldn't believe much of what Ian Doyle has to say. And I know people will say KDB is past his best, and he absolutely is. There's no question. He is past his best. People will say he's injury prone, and that's fair. And people will point to the fact that he turns 34 this summer, and again, that's fair. But have you been watching him recently? Like, he has been absolutely outstanding for City in the back half of the season. Comfortably their best player. And the biggest part of why they've been able to ensure that they're going to be top four, top five as it is. They'll be top three, I reckon. And it's because of him. Because of what he does for them. And I think if you manage his minutes really carefully, he's still magic. He's still a player that can win you any game. Just look at his numbers. Look at the stats he's putting up. He's still the best creator in the league. And it's not really all that close. It was the same last year. The creativity numbers are incredible. The performance level is incredible. It is just a matter of keeping him fit. And that's been a problem for City. No question. Last season, he missed 36 games. This season, he missed 12. But I think if you could get him on a 2-year deal, I think he could be outstanding for you for 2 years in a squad role, not as an every game starter, but like if you had him and Dom as your tens. And let's say of every 3 games, so 270 minutes plus stoppage time, let's call it 285. Dom was playing 180 and KDB was playing 95. No, 105. 105. But not like Dom plays 290s, KDB comes on with 5 minutes left and then plays a full game. But you give KDB 60 in one game. And then you give him 30 in another. And then you give him 20 or whatever in another. Like, manages games that way. Pick and choose when he's going to start. Have him as an option off the bench. He can turn any game in a heartbeat. He's one of the greatest players the league has ever seen. I'm fully on board with the idea of signing him on a 2-year deal. First things first, imagine the fume from Manchester. Secondly, when we're naming all-time Premier League 11s, we can put KDB in there and put him in a Liverpool shirt. So you'd have him and Gerrard, and we could say, well, we've got 2 of the 3 best midfielders the league has ever seen. So just for funniness purposes, that'd be good. But I just... like, he's such a good player, and he's still such a good player. And yes, you have to manage him, but like, look what Arna and the team have done this season. They've done a really good job at keeping players at the right level. And the hope is that next season Arna's more willing to rotate. And if he has more players he can trust, then I'm sure he will rotate more. And I think you can trust KDB. I think he's shown enough over his career that you can trust him. And don't tell me that you haven't thought about what it would have looked like under Jurgen Klopp if he was the one on the right side of the midfield 3. Him, Fabinho, and Ginny behind Mo, Bobby, and Sadio. Don't tell me you haven't considered what that would have been like and what we would have won. We don't have that team anymore, but we still have Salah. And I'd still love to see them play together. So give me KDB for 2 years. This is Anfield. The lead piece suggests that 1 million people are expected in Liverpool on the weekend of the title party and the parade. And there's a couple of pieces about Arna, piece about how the squad are enjoying a couple of days off, and a few of the lads are enjoying some abroad time in the sun. Although, they've missed probably the best weather that Ireland has had in a year. So probably the best weather that the northern part of the UK has had in a year. But still, they look like they're enjoying themselves. Virgil van Dijk has called for a crazier than ever parade and repeated his call for Anfield to be red against Arsenal, for the fans to turn up, to be loud, and to make it known that the Reds are Premier League champions. There's a piece about Mamardashvili, piece about Nat Phillips, a couple more pieces about Arne Slot. Right back. Oh, so Ola Aina has had his contract extended. I don't think we were ever going to sign him. Like, this notion that he's the right back to bring in, he's 29 soon. I just don't see it. But Forest have kicked in the 1-year extension in his deal, so we won't be signing him as a near certainty. Anthony Taylor and Paul Tierney will be involved this weekend. Anthony Taylor will be our referee, and Paul Tierney will be our VAR, and both of them are, of course, terrible sets of lads, but still. Let's see. That's pretty much it, to be honest. That's pretty much it from This is Anfield. Let's see if Liverpool.com have anything new. There's a piece about KDB, and obviously his very close friendship with Virgil. There's a couple of other pieces about KDB, which, I'm all for. There's a piece about Jarl Hato, a piece about Frimpong, a piece about Trent, a piece about Ian Wright, another piece about Frimpong. How Liverpool could line up next season with 4 signings after Alexander-Arnold exit. Let's see what this looks like. Oh, this is horrific. Alisson, Frimpong, Kanate, Van Dijk, Kirke. So 2 fullbacks that aren't good defensively. One who can't defend and one who's just not good at it. A double pivot of Stiller and Gravenberch, which is weaker defensively than what we had this season. McAllister in the 10, where he's not as effective. And then Salah, Isak, and Gakpo up front. So Luis Diaz, our best left winger, who I think should be sold, but he's still better than Gakpo, but he's not in this team. This is dreadful. This is absolutely... Who wrote this? James Findlater. Maybe you'll find your bold knowledge later. That is atrocious. Dave O.C. Cop. Oh, I saw something about Dave O.C. Cop last night. What did he have as an exclusive? Murillo. He had a link to Murillo of Nottingham Forest as a player that we have a strong interest in. I really like him. I think he's excellent. I don't know how, I don't see us spending huge money on a centre-back because we don't need a starter. And you're not buying him to replace Ibu because he's a left-sided centre-back. Now, could you play him at left-back the way City used Gvardiol? You probably could. It's not the ideal use of him, but I think he'd adapt quite well to it. And then, I mean, in that circumstance, then maybe you could use Frimpong because you could slide across into a 3. Maybe. I do love Murillo, though. He is outstanding. He's had a great campaign. And if it wasn't for Virgil, he'd be the best left side centre back in the league this year. Been a notch ahead of Gabriel for me, though Gabriel's been excellent. But he is also injured, so unfortunately he loses points for that. I just don't see how we could justify spending what it would take to get Murillo, who also I think signed a new contract not that long ago. Now Forest may have to sell if they don't get Champions League. They may have to sell somebody, and the 3 big hitters they have there are Murillo, Danilo, and Gibbs White. Because Chris Wood's not bringing you big money. Elanga might. Not sure Hudson-Odoi would yet, but he's getting there. He's had a good season. But Elanga's had a really good season. And AnfieldWatch.com. Bukayo Saka, it's time to join Liverpool. Certainly wouldn't say no. Hugo Ekitike to Real Madrid, a blessing or a curse for Liverpool? A blessing. And if he does do that, he's a very foolish young fella because he was made a scapegoat when it didn't work with Mbappe at PSG. And it'll be the same thing here.
Alright, the Reds, it's Jack here, and that was a clip from one of Anfield Index's audio podcasts. If you have enjoyed the video, make sure you do like, share and subscribe to keep up to date on all things LFC. We record around 100 audio podcasts every month, with our shows featuring match-going fans, top journalists, professional analysts and even Liverpool legends along the way, with the Great Dane himself, Jan Molby, joining us every single week. If you want to listen to all our podcasts for free, head over to AnfieldIndex.com/podcasts. Our audio shows are available wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Anfield Index. Or if you prefer to listen to all our podcasts in full and without any ads, why not head over to AI Pro today to check it out now at AnfieldIndexPro.com. If you want to get involved in the great growing community of Liverpool fans, check out the Anfield Index Discord. The link is in the description. Do get involved with that from Reds around every corner of the globe. For now, Reds, hope you enjoyed this video.